geeks, Adam coming at you to kick off a brand new series on the Wizards, the Podcast Guide to Comics YouTube channel, something we're calling Comic Card Crazy, where we are going to go back and open up vintage packs of comic book trading cards from the 90s. And I think when you talk about something like that, you have to go back to the beginning, something that shaped a generation. It primed a whole group of people to become comic book collectors, appreciators, obsessives all these years later. Of course, we're talking about Marvel Universe Series 1 trading cards. Now, I do have to send a shout out to Chris Bailey, past guest on the show, friend of the podcast, who actually donated these, sent these to me over the holidays, and I couldn't be more excited. This is a series that meant so much to me as a kid. I remember when my buddy first showed them to me, and I had to actually find every detail about it. It was the first time I had to make a plan because it was 2 towns over. I'm like, what was the store? When are they open? I got to look them up in the phone book. I got to have the address, give it to my mom. Hey, can you drive me over there? Got to do chores to get the money to buy these cards. It was crazy. I had to know everything about these Marvel Universe trading cards. And so during that time, I actually started collecting. I hadn't really been collecting cards up to that point. And I got my baseball card binder, and I started collecting. Yes, I have my full set of these cards. I have everything except 2 holograms. The Spider-Man and the Wolverine hologram have not come into my possession yet. But it was not for lack of trying, because about 5 years ago, before, the superhero comic book trading card market went crazy and exploded, do you remember when a full set of these things was $5,000 somebody paid on eBay? Well, I was buying up packs of the cards on the cheap by comparison to today, right? And so I was completing my set because I always had I think there were 10 or 12 cards I was missing from back in the day. And I finally completed it. And then I ended up with all these extras. And I said, if I got all these doubles, what am I going to do with them? Well, this is something that means a lot to me. It's like art. So why not create some art? So this was my little tribute that I have framed in my office to Marvel Universe Series 1. As you can see, we have all the different pack designs here. We have a Silver Surfer hologram down there, the original double-page comic book ad, and then just some of my favorites as a border here. Really, I mean, this just means so much. I can open up a pack and I feel every bit of excitement that I felt when I was a kid, in 1990. And so this is the thing, though. This is a nostalgia that has continued to grow. You'll see a lot of homages that people make in their comic book art, online and things like that, up to the point where there's also this puzzle that was created recently, which I got and then was so disappointed at inaccuracies. That's what we do, right? We obsess. So, I mean, these are a lot of cards you'll recognize. But then what is this? There was no Black Widow card in the Marvel Universe Series 1. I mean, she was not a character that was being hyped at all at that time. And I was building it, and I'm just every time I'm putting in a Black Widow piece, I'm like, this is not accurate to the history of the set. But either way, those bitter feelings aside, I'm so excited to open up a pack with you guys and see what we find inside. Will I get the Spider-Man or Wolverine hologram? Who knows? But let's get to it. Okay, so here we are with our pack of Marvel Universe Series 1 trading cards from 1990. Of course, they weren't Series 1 at the time. Who knew how many more were on the way? But they tell us 12 full-color trading cards in each pack. But they also make sure bonus holograms, these limited edition hologram cards, randomly placed in some of these packages. I mean, there was nothing more exciting. That was what we were hoping for every time we grabbed a pack. I know there were some things where people say, oh, you can feel when it's a little bit thicker if it has a hologram in it. The collector's album that they wanted us to order, wish I had back in the day. I mean, that's certainly something that, when you think about it now, it would really tie the set together. But look, you see, it was $19. I mean, $20 basically all together to get you that. But still, also, you can order your free Marvel Universe trading card checklist, but those came in so many packs, you never needed to send away to find out what you were missing. But okay, the time has come. Let's get into this here. Yes, even these are not wax packs like old baseball cards. They're not the plastic that would come later in the 90s. Let's check this out here. Wow, first up, Doctor Doom. Now look at this guy. A lot of the art in these, was by real comic book artists. I know Mark Bagley did a lot of them when he was first starting out. But everybody remembers the stats, right? You learn his weight. You learn the battles fought, but then they break it down to wins, losses, ties. There was the handbook of the Marvel Universe that probably had a lot of this information. You get your first appearance. I mean, there was so much to learn, but also the did you know? To hide his horribly disfigured face, Doctor Doom never removes his mask in anyone's presence. So these are things that would start building the mystique and the history of these characters. Oh, wow. Look at this. No one was bigger at this point than Venom in terms of supervillains. Oh, that is a glorious piece of... I've always wondered, actually, right here. I assume that's Peter Parker that he's spying on right there. But I love how they covered up his face with the little name ribbon, whatever you want to call that there. But yeah, so you see Eddie Brock. It's hard to believe battles fought 115 by 1990? Like, that can't be right. Like, now I'm starting to question some of these stats all these years later. Because he just came around in 1988. So, I mean, that doesn't make any sense. But did you know the costume that Venom wears is a living evil alien entity? Of course we did. Ooh, okay. So not only did they have individual cards, by the way, this one's heavy on villains, but you had team cards. So the Sinister Six at this time, who had kind of reformed. Very interesting here that you have Hobgoblin instead of Green Goblin. I didn't remember that was the case when they were reforming here, but I think this Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1 was their first appearance, but I guess they're not necessarily catching up to what do they do now, other than to say they have a secret undersea base. Did you know the Sinister Six was the first group created by supervillains to defeat a superhero? Oh, but yeah, that's not even one that I remember like seeing a lot as a kid, so that's kind of cool. Now, the Evolutionary War, this is a card I did see a lot as a kid. I remember getting this. I had not read this storyline. I didn't know about the High Evolutionary. I didn't know what was going on with this weird beast costume and a gray Hulk and all that stuff. I mean, that is a motley crew right there. When you have U.S. Agent and Falcon, and is this Hercules? Is that Gilgamesh? Like, who is that there? But look at this. I do love that, look, if you wanted to read the whole story, they laid it all out in all the different annuals that you could buy so you could follow the story. But that's really interesting. Who knew that he would come around in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? All right, now Alpha Flight. Again, this is like of the moment the team, right? Like this isn't like the classic team that you would even expect to see. What's this guy's name? Box or something? Let's see if they have that in here. They tell you all the... Yeah, Talisman, Vindicator, Wind Shear, Sasquatch, Persuasion, and Box. Wow. Yeah, not the premier version of Alpha Flight by any means. Did you know Wolverine was selected to be one of the first members of Alpha Flight, but left to join the X-Men instead? Oh, yes. Well, now, here on Wizards, we have Mike Schwartz, our official Canadian co-host. So maybe we'll get some more appreciation for Alpha Flight as it goes on. Mr. Fantastic. Oh, no, this is a classic card right here. The great thing is with a single image, it can tell you so much. Like, you understand that he could stretch and grow. Why his head had to be so tiny by comparison, I don't know. But he's kind of got that Kirby perspective with the hand reaching out. Now this one, let's see so 436 battles total, that I believe, with all those years of publication. And arch enemies, Galactus, Doctor Doom, and nicknames even, High Pockets and Stretcho. I'm assuming Thing was also the one calling him High Pockets, but I don't remember that one. Did you know Mr. Fantastic's uniform is composed of unstable molecules, which allowed it to change shape as he does? That's a big one. That's going to teach you a lot and make you realize costumes could be damaged or not if they were unstable molecules. Mephisto. Look at this guy. Just so surly on his throne with the flames. Couldn't quite want to say flame and thrones. Flaming throne? Either way. Mephistopheles, Lucifer, Beelzebub, the devil. Dimensions controlled, just one. Oh, he's trying to get those numbers up. Although the battles fought, that's hilarious. 8,599. And statistics only cover the last decade. See, but this is where they're just having a little bit of fun, because there's no way any of that is accurate. Going back to Venom and everything else. Did you know, although thought by many to be the same being as the biblical devil, Mephisto is not and makes no such claim. So there you go. We'll lay that to rest. Ooh, now we have a famous battles card here. So Acts of Vengeance, a lot of supervillain team-ups. Again, this pack, so many villains here. Why is Loki gigantic behind everybody? I guess it's symbolic there. But, you see a few heavy hitters here. Then what is this, like the Wizard right there? The Mandarin and his armor. Yeah, so there you go. But again, it's very helpful to a kid who's like, well, maybe this story does appeal to me now that I've read a brief synopsis at least, and now I can go check it out and find it in the back issue bins. All right, check this out. Shadowcat. Oh, Kitty Pryde. Let's check this out. She's got Lockheed there, but so she was with Excalibur at the time. 201 battles. Win percentage 57. Nickname Ariel, Sprite, Kitten, and Katya. So that's interesting there. So 2 of those are just her alter egos she tried to get going, and the other 2 are what Storm and Colossus call her. Did you know Shadowcat's natural state is intangibility? It's only by concentration and training that she can keep herself in a solid state. Ooh, I actually did not recognize that. The one thing I would love is a breakdown of all the different artists who did these. Now, obviously, this is Frank Miller from the Limited series, so this is a comic book cover, and I always thought these were extra cool because it really taught you what a collectible could be. Now, the 1990 Overstreet price guide value, $15 near mint. Just imagine that now. Is it like 10 times that now at least? I mean, it's got to be more like 500 if it's graded or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's got to be out of control. It's such a seminal series for the character. Although I always thought it was so weird with the lighting that his costume looked purple on this cover. But the most valuable comics cards were big for me because I felt like I had learned something about comic book history. Talking about big, the Kingpin. Oh, look at this guy. There's no D'Onofrio there. This is a stocky fella. Check this out. Okay. 202 battles. He's 6'7". His nickname is the Fat Man. Okay. Where's Jake? Anybody? Old TV reference? Anyway, let's see here. Did you know most people mistakenly believe the Kingpin's bulk is all fat, when in fact it's all muscle? I remember wowing my son with that fact when I talked to him about the Kingpin. He's like, whoa, I can't believe it. Now he cites it like he came up with it. Oh, wow. And so our pack was a Wolverine pack, and look at the last card we got here. It's the Wolverine solo card. I sure wish this was the hologram, but you know what? I like the fact that it's being kept on theme. I always thought it was kind of funny that there was a moon in the background. Like, I assume that's supposed to be Madripoor. Maybe it's New York. But I was just like, it's kind of weird because it's more of a Batman feel to him here. Also, the coloring is a little off. That was something with some of these cards where I felt like they did kind of a weird thing. It always stood out to me as a kid. And definitely improved it as the series went on. 629 battles. Nickname Wolvie. All right. And did you know Wolverine possesses a built-in healing factor that allows him to recover from even the most severe wounds in an amazingly short time? Oh, wow. Okay, well, this was a set, guys. This was a nice set of cards to get in that pack. Let's wrap this thing up. Man, that was fun. I mean, that was just so enjoyable. You just never know. There's the anticipation. I kept thinking, I kind of saw that Wolverine card on the bottom. I saw the back of it. I was like, wait, is that a hologram? I can't quite tell. But I mean, the 1-2 punch of a Wolverine and a Venom card in the same pack. Imagine as a kid getting this. You're 8, 9 years old. You're like, I can't believe it. I mean, those are like just some of the most popular characters. So fantastic. So stay subscribed here, because this is the first of 4 videos, okay, of these Marvel Universe trading cards, because I'm going to be back, and I'm going to be opening up next time around. Let's pull it out here. Yes, a pack of Marvel Universe Series 2 cards. In some ways, like, although it's almost as nostalgic that they made some improvements with series 2 that I'm looking forward to getting into. Just something about that set was extra special, especially some of the artists who were involved. So anyway, stay subscribed here if you want to be connected with Wizards, the podcast guide to comics, and get more. If this is your first exposure, we do a show where we actually go into every issue of Wizard, the guide to comics. We explore the excitement of that moment in time in the comic book industry. We also go behind the scenes. We interview the people who helped create Wizard magazine. We just talked to the founder and publisher of Wizard, Gareb Shamus, so you can find that as well. But make sure you also connect with us on social media to get the updates, at least when these videos are coming out, if this is your area of interest. We are at Wizards Comics on all the social media platforms, at Wizards_Comics on Instagram. But hey, thanks again for checking this out. Hey, until next time, keep your books bagged and boarded.